Christmas morning 2019. The fireplace is crackling, pine and cinnamon candles melting on the mantel, Bing Crosby crooning through the speakers, and my entire extended family crammed into my parents' living room like sardines wrapped in Fair Isle sweaters. I'm 24 years old, perched on the arm of the couch with a mug of spiked cocoa, watching my Aunt Linda tear into her gift from my dad. She's smiling that shark tooth smile she always wears when she thinks she's winning. The wrapping paper falls away. She lifts the lid. And then, her face does something I will treasure for the rest of my natural life. It goes slack, then white, then this mottled shade of crimson that starts at her collarbone and crawls up her neck like spilled wine on a tablecloth. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. My cousin Derek leans over, squints at the box and whispers, "Wait, is that the fruitcake?" my dad says calmly, sipping his coffee like he just announced the weather. Not a fruitcake, the fruitcake, the one Aunt Linda gave him 10 Christmases ago with that venomous little smirk and the words, "Well, Tom, I know you don't have refined taste, but even you might appreciate something homemade." The same rock-hard, brandy-soaked, glacé cherry-studded brick she presented, like it was the culinary crown jewels. Knowing full well my dad hates fruitcake, knowing it was a jab disguised as generosity, that fruitcake. And for 10 years, 10 glorious, patient years, my dad had been quietly, methodically passing it back to her. Rewrapped, relabeled, regifted, every single Christmas. The whole room goes silent. Aunt Linda's hands are shaking as she stares into that box, and I swear I can see the exact moment her brain connects the dots, retraces a decade of Christmases, and realizes she's been played like a fiddle at a county fair. My dad sets down his mug, leans back in his recliner, and says, so sweetly, so innocently, "I thought you might want it back, Linda. After all, it's homemade." My uncle chokes on his eggnog. My mum bites her lip so hard I think she might draw blood. And me? I laugh so hard I fall off the couch. This is the story of the greatest, pettiest, most beautiful revenge I have ever witnessed. And trust me when I say, my dad didn't just win Christmas, he won the entire decade. If you've ever been disrespected by a family member who thought they could get away with it forever, if you've ever fantasized about serving up karma with a bow on top, hit that like button right now, smash subscribe, and buckle up. Because this is the story of how my dad turned one insult into a 10-year masterpiece of poetic justice. And the ending, chef's kiss. Let me set the stage for you. My Aunt Linda is my dad's older sister, and when I say older, I don't just mean by age. I mean in that way where she lorded those extra 4 years over him their entire lives, like she was some kind of anointed firstborn royalty. Growing up, my dad was the quiet one, the steady one, the kid who got decent grades, worked weekends at the hardware store, and never caused trouble. Linda? She was the golden child, valedictorian, debate captain, full scholarship to a private college. She married a lawyer, bought a house in the nice part of town, drove a Lexus with vanity plates that literally said classy one. I'm not making that up. My dad, meanwhile, became a middle school science teacher, married my mom, a kind, funny woman who worked as a dispatcher for the local fire department. They bought a modest 3-bedroom ranch with a big backyard and a mortgage they paid off early. No Lexus. No vanity plates, but also no pretension, no condescension, just a good, honest life. And Aunt Linda hated that. Not openly, of course. She was far too classy for that. Instead, she delivered her disdain in small surgical cuts. Little comments at family gatherings. "Oh, you're still teaching middle school, Tom. I thought you'd have moved up to administration by now. This casserole is interesting, Susan. Store-bought noodles. It's so sweet that you're happy with this." That last one, said while gesturing vaguely at my parents' house during Thanksgiving 2008, is when I first saw my dad's jaw tighten. I was 13, old enough to understand subtext, old enough to feel that little flare of anger in my chest. But my dad, he just smiled, nodded, refilled her wine glass, and said nothing. That was his way, always had been. Turn the other cheek, don't stoop, be the bigger person, which is probably why when Christmas 2009 rolled around, none of us saw it coming. It's Christmas Eve. We're at my grandparents' house, the big family gathering, the one with the white elephant gift exchange, the one where Grandma makes her famous pecan pie, and Grandpa falls asleep in his recliner by 7 p.m. Aunt Linda arrives late, as usual, in a cloud of Chanel No. 5 and self-importance. She's carrying a large wicker basket wrapped in cellophane and tied with a gold bow. Homemade gifts this year, she announces, setting it on the counter like she's unveiling a Fabergé egg. I spent weeks baking. Inside, fruitcakes, individual loaves, one for every family member. Grandma coos. My mum thanks her politely. My dad picks up his, reads the little handwritten tag, "For Tom, because even you deserve something homemade." I watch his face. The smile stays, but his eyes flash. Just for a second. Aunt Linda notices, and she smiles wider. "I know you don't have refined taste, Tom," she says, loud enough for everyone to hear. "But even you might appreciate something made with love." The room laughs, nervous, polite laughter. But I see my mum's hand tighten on her wine glass. I see my dad nod slowly, still smiling. "Thanks, Linda," he says quietly. "Really thoughtful." He sets the fruitcake down, and that's it. No comeback, no confrontation, just quiet acceptance. We go home that night, and I watch my dad put the fruitcake on the counter. My mum eyes it. "You're not actually going to eat that, are you?" Dad shrugs. "We'll see." The fruitcake sits there. Days pass, weeks. It migrates to the pantry, then the back of the pantry. And then, on December 23rd, 2010, I come downstairs and see my dad at the kitchen table. The fruitcake is in front of him. He's wrapping it. Carefully, beautifully, gold paper, silver ribbon. A new gift tag in his neat handwriting. "For Linda, Merry Christmas. Love, Tom." "Dad," I say slowly, "is that—" He looks up, grins. "Yep." "You're giving it back to her?" "Yep." I stare at him. "Why?" He tapes the last corner, smooths the ribbon. "Because," he says, "she gave me a gift, and I'm returning the gesture." There's a glint in his eye, a spark I've never seen before, and that's when I realise this isn't just about a fruitcake. This is war. Christmas 2010. Same house, same family, same Aunt Linda. She's holding court in the living room, talking about her recent trip to Napa, when my dad hands her the gift. "Merry Christmas, sis." She takes it, surprised, flattered even. "Oh, Tom, you shouldn't have." She unwraps it, lifts the lid. Pauses. Her smile freezes. This is fruitcake, my dad says innocently. "Homemade. Thought you'd appreciate it." Her eyes narrow, just slightly, but she recovers quickly. "How thoughtful." She takes it home. I don't know what she did with it that year. Threw it away, maybe. But the next Christmas 2011, she hands my dad a gift. Same size, same weight. He unwraps it at home later. It's the fruitcake. She rewrapped it, put a new tag on it, gave it back. My mum sees it and starts laughing so hard she cries. "Oh my God, she's playing." Dad just nods. "Yep." "What are you going to do?" He looks at the fruitcake, looks at my mum. "Win." And so it begins. Christmas 2012. Dad rewraps it, returns it. Aunt Linda's face twitches when she opens it, but she says nothing. Christmas 2013. She gives it back, this time in a decorative tin. Dad grins when he opens it later. Creative. Christmas 2014. Dad puts it in a wooden crate, adds tissue paper, a really fancy ribbon. Aunt Linda opens it at the family gathering. Her jaw clenches. My cousin whispers, "Is that the same fruitcake from 5 years ago?" I nod. "Oh my God." By now, the rest of the family is starting to notice. Whispers, sideways glances. My grandma, bless her, pulls my dad aside. "Tommy, what on earth are you doing?" "Just exchanging gifts, Ma." "That's the same fruitcake Linda made in 2009. "Is it?" He's the picture of innocence. She stares at him. Then, slowly, she starts to smile. "You're a little shit, you know that?" "I learned from the best." She pats his cheek, says nothing more, but I see her watching Aunt Linda the rest of the night, and I see the tiniest smirk on her lips. Christmas 2015. The fruitcake comes back in a gift bag. Lazy. Dad tuts. "She's losing steam." Christmas 2016. He puts it in a glass cookie jar with a red bow. Aunt Linda's hands shake when she opens it. Christmas 2017. She gives it back in the original wicker basket. "Full circle," my mum whispers. Dad nods approvingly. Respect. By now, this has become the event of every Christmas. The cousins take bets. My uncle starts a pool. Even Grandpa, who never pays attention to anything, starts asking, "Who's got the fruitcake this year?" It's not just a prank anymore. It's a tradition, a legend. And Aunt Linda, she's seething, but she can't quit, because quitting means admitting defeat. And Linda never admits defeat. Which brings us back to Christmas morning 2019, 10 years in. The fruitcake has been passed back and forth so many times it's practically a family heirloom. It's lived in pantries, basements, attics. It's been frozen, thawed, forgotten, remembered. It is, somehow, miraculously, still intact. A monument to spite. This year, my dad decides to go big. He doesn't just wrap it. He creates a presentation. He buys a shadow box, the kind you'd use for a wedding dress or a sports jersey. He mounts the fruitcake inside, yes, the actual fruitcake, preserved like a museum piece, and adds a small brass plaque, "Linda's Fruitcake, S 2009, a decade of giving." He wraps the shadow box, puts it under the tree. Christmas morning comes. Aunt Linda is in rare form. She's been needling my dad all morning. Little comments. "Still teaching, Tom?" "I see you finally got new furniture. Only took a decade." My dad just smiles, nods, sips his coffee. When it's time for gifts, he hands her the box. "Merry Christmas, Linda." She takes it. Heavier than usual. She unwraps it, lifts the shadow box, reads the plaque, and then silence. Utter, beautiful, suffocating silence. Her face goes through an entire spectrum of human emotion in 10 seconds. Confusion, realization, horror, rage. My cousin Derek loses it. "Oh my God, is that the fruitcake?" The room explodes. Laughter, gasps. My uncle spits out his eggnog. Aunt Linda just stares at the fruitcake, encased in glass, immortalized forever. "You," she whispers. "You saved it." "Of course I did," Dad says. "You made it with love, remember?" Her hands tremble. "For 10 years you've been appreciating your thoughtfulness," he finishes. "And I wanted to make sure it had a permanent place of honor, since it's homemade." She looks around the room. Everyone is staring, waiting. She tries to smile, can't. Tries to laugh, can't. Finally, she just sets the shadow box down, grabs her purse and says, voice shaking, "I think we need to leave." Her husband scrambles up. My cousins follow. The door slams. Dead silence. And then my grandma starts clapping. Slow, deliberate. The room erupts. Applause, cheers. My mum is crying. She's laughing so hard. My dad just leans back in his chair, takes a sip of coffee and says, "Merry Christmas, everyone." Aunt Linda didn't speak to my dad for 3 months. 3 glorious months. When she finally broke the silence, Easter dinner, uncomfortable small talk, she wouldn't make eye contact with him. But here's the thing, she never made another snide comment, never another condescending remark, because every single person in that family now knew, you don't mess with my dad, because he doesn't explode, he doesn't yell, he doesn't stoop, he just waits. And when the time is right, he wins. The shadow box, by the way, still hangs in my parents' kitchen, right above the coffee maker, a constant reminder. Patience isn't just a virtue, sometimes it's a weapon. You know what I learned from my dad's 10-year fruitcake revenge? Sometimes the best payback isn't loud or fast. It's quiet, it's slow. It's waiting for the perfect moment to remind someone that karma doesn't forget, and neither do you. And when that moment comes, make it count, make it legendary. If this story made your day, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me what's the longest revenge you've ever seen play out. Bonus points if it involves regifting. And of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because trust me, we've got more stories like this coming your way. Until next time, stay petty, stay patient, and remember, the best revenge is always served cold, preferably in a shadow box.